Strawberry is no longer just a seasonal fruit grown in limited pockets. Across many regions, it has emerged as a premium, high-value crop closely linked to protected cultivation. Climate instability, rising quality expectations, and growing urban demand have forced growers to rethink how strawberries are produced. Around the world, producers have recognized that strawberries reward environmental stability more than aggressive inputs. This is why polyhouse cultivation has become central to modern strawberry farming. In this podcast, we explore strawberry cultivation under polyhouse conditions, explaining why the crop responds so well to protection, how it should be managed, and what it takes to consistently produce market-ready fruits. Strawberry plants are biologically delicate. They have shallow roots, soft leaves, sensitive flowers, and exposed fruits. Small changes in temperature, humidity, or moisture can significantly affect flowering, fruit set, and quality. Unlike many field crops, strawberries do not tolerate prolonged stress. This sensitivity makes them risky in open fields but highly responsive under controlled or semi-controlled environments like polyhouses. Because strawberries react so quickly to stress, even short periods of unfavorable conditions can leave lasting effects. What growers often observe is that a plant stressed today may still show reduced fruit size weeks later. This poor stress recovery is what separates strawberries from hardier crops and explains why environmental buffering inside a polyhouse makes such a measurable difference. In open field conditions, strawberries face multiple challenges. Rainfall during flowering interferes with pollination. Wet fruits are prone to fungal rot. Soil contact leads to contamination and quality loss. Sudden heat waves reduce fruit size and sweetness. Even when yields look acceptable, a large portion of fruits may fail to meet market standards. These limitations are the primary drivers behind the shift toward polyhouse cultivation. In practice, these open field limitations don't always appear as total crop failure. Instead, they show up as hidden losses. Fruits may be harvested, transported, and then rejected due to softness, rot, or poor shape. So while yield may look acceptable on paper, actual income tells a different story. This hidden loss is one of the strongest arguments for polyhouse strawberry cultivation. A polyhouse does not completely isolate the crop from nature, but it creates a buffered microclimate. Rain is excluded. Wind speed is reduced. Temperature fluctuations are moderated. Humidity can be managed through ventilation. For strawberries, this stability allows the plant to focus on growth and fruiting rather than survival. The result is more uniform plants and more predictable harvests. This buffering effect is why many experienced growers describe the polyhouse as a risk management structure rather than just a production tool. By reducing exposure to sudden shocks, polyhouses allow growers to plan harvests, labor, and market supply with far greater confidence. For a perishable crop like strawberry, predictability is often more valuable than maximum yield. Among fruit crops, strawberry stands out as especially suitable for polyhouses. The plants are compact, require limited vertical space, and produce high value per square meter. Unlike perennial fruit trees, strawberries complete their productive cycle quickly, making them economically compatible with protected structures. This combination of biology and economics makes strawberry one of the most logical polyhouse fruit crops. Strawberry, botanically known as Fragaria times ananassa, is a low-growing perennial herb cultivated seasonally. All growth originates from a central crown. Leaves, flowers, and runners emerge from this crown, making crown health critical. Because the plant grows close to the ground, airflow and moisture management at canopy level become extremely important under protected conditions. Because strawberry plants grow from a single central crown, everything the plant does depends on how healthy and stable that crown remains. In practice, this means that any stress affecting the crown, such as excess moisture, poor aeration, or mechanical damage, directly reduces the number of flowers the plant can support. Growers often notice that even when leaves look healthy, weak crown development results in fewer flower stalks and uneven fruiting. This is where polyhouse cultivation becomes especially important. By protecting the crown zone from rainfall, temperature shocks, and uncontrolled moisture, polyhouses help maintain continuous crown activity, which ultimately determines how many fruits a plant can produce and how uniformly it performs throughout the season. Strawberries have a shallow, fibrous root system concentrated near the surface. These roots require oxygen-rich, well-drained conditions. Waterlogging, even for short periods, can cause root and crown rot. This is why strawberries perform poorly in heavy soils but thrive in raised beds or soilless media under polyhouse cultivation, where root zone conditions are easier to control. Building on the shallow and fibrous nature of strawberry roots, what matters most is not how much water is applied, but how much oxygen remains available in the root zone after irrigation. In practice, many growers observe that problems labeled as root disease often begin as simple oxygen stress caused by excess moisture. When roots remain saturated, respiration slows, nutrient uptake becomes inefficient, and the plant weakens, creating ideal conditions for pathogens to invade. This is why raised beds and grow bags perform so well under polyhouse conditions. They allow excess water to drain quickly while maintaining air-filled pore space around the roots. By keeping the root zone well aerated, polyhouse systems prevent stress before disease appears, supporting steady growth and consistent fruiting. Strawberry flowers require proper pollination for uniform fruit development. Poor pollination leads to misshapen fruits with low market value. Under polyhouse conditions, natural pollinator activity may be reduced. However, controlled airflow and the presence of beneficial insects such as bees greatly improve pollination efficiency, resulting in better fruit size and shape. Because strawberry fruit shape and size depend directly on how completely each flower is pollinated, pollination quality becomes a hidden but decisive factor in marketable yield. In practice, growers often notice that misshapen fruits are not caused by nutrition or irrigation problems, but by incomplete pollination during flowering. Under polyhouse conditions, reduced wind movement and limited insect activity can restrict natural pollen transfer. This is why controlled airflow and the presence of pollinators, especially bees, make a measurable difference. When pollination is uniform, more seeds on the fruit surface are fertilized, leading to evenly developed, symmetrical fruits that meet premium market standards. Not all strawberry varieties perform well under protected cultivation. Polyhouse varieties must balance yield, flavor, firmness, and adaptability. They should flower uniformly, resist common diseases, and produce fruits suitable for the target market. Variety selection is therefore a strategic decision, not merely a planting choice. Because strawberry varieties behave very differently under protected environments, variety selection cannot be treated as a one-time or purely availability-based decision. In practice, growers often observe that a variety performing well in open fields may behave completely differently inside a polyhouse. Some varieties produce excellent flavor but soften quickly, while others maintain firmness at the cost of sweetness. This is why successful polyhouse growers evaluate varieties based not only on yield, but on how well they align with local climate control, harvest frequency, and market distance. A well-matched variety reduces management pressure and stabilizes both fruit quality and returns throughout the season. Varieties such as Winter Dawn, Sweet Charlie, Chandler, Festival, and Camarosa are widely used in protected cultivation. Each variety differs in fruit size, sweetness, firmness, and shelf life. Some suit local fresh markets, while others are better for transport or institutional supply. Matching the variety to market demand is critical for profitability. When these commonly used strawberry varieties are grown under polyhouse conditions, their characteristics often become more pronounced than in open fields. Growers frequently notice clearer differences in fruit firmness, color development, and shelf life once environmental stress is reduced. This makes polyhouse cultivation an effective way to truly evaluate a variety's genetic potential. In practice, experienced growers rarely commit an entire polyhouse to a new variety in the first season. Instead, they test small sections, observe plant behavior across the harvest period, and then scale up varieties that show consistent fruit quality and stable performance under protected conditions. Polyhouse design directly affects strawberry performance. Adequate roof height, effective side and top ventilation, and uniform airflow are essential. Although strawberry plants are low-growing, heat and humidity accumulate near the fruit zone. Poor ventilation at this level increases disease pressure and reduces fruit quality. While overall polyhouse ventilation is important, what truly determines strawberry health is how air moves at the fruit and canopy level. In practice, many disease problems arise not because a polyhouse lacks vents, but because air circulation near the ground is insufficient. Warm, humid air tends to stagnate around the low-growing strawberry canopy, especially during flowering and fruiting. This localized humidity creates ideal conditions for fungal diseases even when average humidity readings seem acceptable. Effective polyhouse design must therefore ensure that airflow reaches the fruit zone consistently, allowing moisture to dissipate and maintaining a dry microclimate where strawberries can develop cleanly and uniformly. Raised beds are the most common planting system for polyhouse strawberries. By elevating the root zone, raised beds improve drainage and reduce disease risk. Beds are typically mulched to prevent weed growth and fruit contact with soil. This system offers a balance between cost efficiency and crop performance. Because strawberries grow so close to the ground, the surface conditions of raised beds play a major role in fruit quality. In practice, growers observe that fruits resting on bare soil are far more prone to rot, staining, and microbial contamination. This is where mulching becomes essential. Plastic mulch on raised beds prevents direct fruit-soil contact, stabilizes moisture in the root zone, and reduces weed competition. Beyond hygiene, mulching also moderates soil temperature, helping roots function more consistently. Together, raised beds and proper mulching transform the planting surface from a risk factor into a support system for clean, market-ready strawberries. Grow bags provide greater root zone precision. Filled with cocoa peat or cocoa peat perlite mixtures, they offer excellent aeration and drainage. Each plant receives individual irrigation, allowing precise fertigation. Grow bags are preferred in high-value commercial operations and in locations with soil-borne disease history. Because each strawberry plant in a grow bag operates within its own confined root environment, grow bag systems naturally reduce variability across the crop. In practice, growers notice that plants grown in uniform grow bags tend to establish more evenly, flower at similar times, and produce fruits of comparable size and quality. This uniformity simplifies irrigation, fertigation, and harvesting decisions, especially during peak production periods. Grow bags also make it easier to correct nutrient or moisture imbalances at the individual plant level without disturbing the entire system. For commercial polyhouse operations targeting premium markets, this consistency translates directly into higher grading efficiency and smoother farm management. The growing media must support both moisture retention and oxygen availability. Cocoa peat-based media are widely used because they balance water holding capacity with aeration. Excessively wet media reduce oxygen availability and increase disease risk. In strawberry cultivation, slightly dry conditions are safer than excess moisture. As the strawberry crop progresses, the physical behavior of the growing media begins to change, and this often goes unnoticed by new growers. Over time, cocoa peat-based media gradually settle and compact, increasing water retention while reducing air-filled pore space. In practice, this means that an irrigation schedule that worked well early in the season may start causing root stress later on. Growers often misinterpret this as a nutrient problem, when in reality it is a root aeration issue. Regular observation of drainage, root color, and media moisture helps identify this shift early. Adjusting irrigation frequency and volume as the media ages is essential to maintain healthy roots and prevent late-season decline in plant performance. Strawberries perform best under moderate temperatures. Day temperatures between 18 and 25 degrees Celsius and cool nights between 8 and 15 degrees promote flowering and fruit development. High temperatures accelerate respiration, reduce sweetness, and soften fruits. Polyhouse ventilation and shading help maintain these temperature ranges. Because strawberry plants are especially sensitive during flowering and early fruit development, sudden temperature changes can be more damaging than temperatures that are consistently high or low. In practice, growers often observe flower drop or poor fruit set after short heat spikes, even if average daily temperatures appear acceptable. Rapid increases in temperature can reduce pollen viability and disrupt normal fertilization, leading to fewer and smaller fruits later in the season. This is where the buffering effect of the polyhouse becomes critical. By slowing down the rate at which temperature rises during the day and falls at night, polyhouses protect these sensitive reproductive stages and help maintain steady fruit development and overall yield stability. Relative humidity between 60 and 75% is ideal. Excess humidity encourages fungal diseases such as powdery mildew and botrytis. Good airflow prevents condensation on leaves and fruits. Ventilation is therefore not optional, it is a primary disease management tool in strawberry polyhouse. While growers often focus on average humidity readings, what truly affects disease development in strawberries is how long moisture remains on leaves and fruits. In practice, many disease outbreaks occur not because humidity briefly rises, but because it stays elevated for extended periods, especially overnight. When leaves and flowers remain damp for several hours, fungal spores germinate easily and infections establish before symptoms are visible. This is why timely ventilation after irrigation and during late afternoons is so important in polyhouse systems. By reducing the duration of high humidity rather than chasing perfect numbers, growers can significantly suppress disease pressure and protect fruit quality without excessive chemical intervention. Strawberries require bright but diffused light. Polyhouse coverings naturally diffuse sunlight, improving canopy penetration. During periods of intense radiation, temporary shading prevents heat stress and sun scald. However, excessive shading reduces sugar accumulation, so light management must be balanced. Because strawberry fruit quality depends on steady photosynthesis over time, light management is less about intensity on a single day and more about consistency across the season. In practice, growers often notice that fruits grown under fluctuating light conditions develop uneven color and lower sweetness, even when nutrition is adequate. Polyhouse coverings naturally diffuse sunlight, which helps distribute light more evenly across the canopy. Strategic shading during peak radiation hours further prevents heat stress without sharply reducing photosynthesis. When light levels remain stable day after day, plants maintain balanced sugar production, resulting in sweeter fruits with more uniform color and better market appeal. Strawberries require frequent, low-volume irrigation because of their shallow roots. Drip irrigation delivers water directly to the root zone without wetting leaves or fruits. Over-irrigation reduces sweetness and increases disease risk, while under-irrigation reduces fruit size. Precision is essential. Because strawberries have such a shallow root system, irrigation timing becomes just as important as irrigation volume. In practice, growers often observe that crops irrigated late in the day appear healthy initially but show higher disease pressure over time. Evening or night irrigation increases moisture levels in the root zone and raises humidity inside the polyhouse overnight, creating favorable conditions for fungal growth. Scheduling most irrigation events earlier in the day allows excess moisture to dissipate before nightfall, keeping both the root zone and canopy drier during critical hours. This small adjustment in timing can significantly improve plant health, fruit firmness, and overall crop stability. Strawberries require moderate nutrient strength with careful balance. Nitrogen supports vegetative growth, potassium enhances fruit size and sweetness, and calcium strengthens fruit tissue. Maintaining stable EC and pH ensures consistent nutrient uptake. Fertigation must be adjusted across growth stages rather than applied uniformly. Because strawberry fruits are composed largely of water and carbohydrates, nutrient balance directly influences both texture and taste. In practice, growers often notice that plants receiving excess nitrogen produce lush foliage but soft fruits that break down quickly after harvest. This imbalance reduces shelf life and market value. Adequate potassium and calcium, on the other hand, strengthen cell walls and support proper sugar transport into the fruits. Maintaining stable EC and pH levels ensures that these nutrients remain available throughout the crop cycle. When fertigation is adjusted carefully at each growth stage, strawberries develop firmer texture, better sweetness, and improve post-harvest performance. Aphids, thrips, mites, and whiteflies are the most common pests in polyhouse strawberries. These pests multiply rapidly in protected environments. Early detection and monitoring are critical because pest damage directly affects fruit appearance and market grade. Because polyhouse environments protect crops from external weather disturbances, insect pests are able to reproduce continuously without the natural population checks seen in open fields. In practice, growers often find that pest numbers increase quietly over time and become noticeable only after damage appears on leaves or fruits. This is why regular scouting is far more effective than occasional spraying in polyhouse strawberry systems. Early detection allows for targeted intervention before pests reach damaging levels, protecting fruit appearance and preventing sudden quality losses that are difficult to recover later in the season. Powdery mildew and botrytis fruit rot are the most serious diseases in strawberry polyhouses. Both thrive under high humidity and poor airflow. Disease outbreaks often begin during flowering and become visible during fruit ripening, leading to significant losses if unmanaged. Because many fungal diseases in strawberries begin their infection process long before visible symptoms appear, disease management must start earlier than most growers expect. In practice, infections like botrytis often establish themselves during the flowering stage, when petals and floral tissues remain moist and vulnerable. The fruit may appear healthy for several days, only to develop rot close to harvest or even after picking. This delayed expression is why growers sometimes misjudge the source of the problem. By managing humidity, airflow, and sanitation during flowering, not just during fruiting, polyhouse growers can interrupt the disease cycle early and prevent losses that would otherwise appear unavoidable later in the season. Integrated pest management combines sanitation, monitoring, climate control, biological measures, and minimal chemical intervention. Preventive strategies are far more effective than reactive spraying. In polyhouse strawberries, controlling humidity and airflow often prevents disease without heavy chemical use. Because pests and diseases in polyhouse strawberries are influenced by multiple interacting factors, integrated pest management works only when it is treated as a continuous system, not a series of isolated actions. In practice, growers often see limited results when they focus only on sprays without addressing sanitation, airflow, or monitoring. Each element supports the others. Clean planting material reduces initial pressure, good ventilation suppresses disease development, and regular scouting ensures early response. When these practices operate together, pest populations remain below damaging levels and disease outbreaks become manageable rather than disruptive. This systems-based approach is what allows polyhouse strawberry cultivation to remain both productive and sustainable over time. Strawberries are harvested only when fully ripe, as they do not ripen after picking. Harvesting is done every 2 to 3 days during peak season. Fruits are picked gently with a small stalk attached to avoid damage. Morning harvest preserves firmness and shelf life. Because strawberries do not ripen after harvest, harvest timing directly determines both eating quality and shelf life. In practice, growers often observe that harvesting even slightly underripe fruits improves firmness but sacrifices flavor, while delayed harvesting increases sweetness but sharply reduces storage life. This makes harvest discipline especially important in polyhouse systems, where fruits ripen quickly and uniformly. Frequent harvesting keeps plants balanced, prevents overloading of ripe fruits on the plant, and maintains consistent quality across the harvest period. Well-managed harvest routines are therefore not just about picking fruits, but about sustaining plant performance and market reliability throughout the season. Under well-managed polyhouse systems, yields of 600 to 900 grams per plant are achievable. This translates to approximately 20 to 30 tons per hectare. More important than total yield is the proportion of grade A fruits, which determines profitability. Because strawberry profitability depends more on quality than on sheer quantity, yield figures must always be interpreted in context. In practice, growers often find that pushing plants for maximum yield leads to smaller, softer fruits and a higher proportion of rejects. Polyhouse cultivation allows growers to moderate this trade-off by maintaining steady growth conditions rather than forcing production. When plants are kept in balance, they may produce slightly fewer fruits, but a much higher percentage meet premium grading standards. This focus on marketable yield, rather than total tonnage, is what ultimately determines economic success in polyhouse strawberry farming. Under well-managed polyhouse systems, yields of 600 to 900 grams per plant are achievable. This translates to approximately 20 to 30 tons per hectare. More important than total yield is the proportion of grade A fruits, which determines profitability. Because strawberries continue to respire rapidly even after harvest, the time immediately following picking is often more critical than the entire growing period. In practice, growers notice that fruits handled carefully in the field can still lose firmness and shine if temperature is not reduced quickly. Delays in pre-cooling allow respiration and moisture loss to accelerate, shortening shelf life even before fruits reach the market. Polyhouse growers who integrate harvest schedules with prompt cooling and short transport times consistently achieve better customer feedback and repeat demand. This reinforces the idea that post-harvest handling is not a separate step, but a direct extension of the production system itself. Polyhouse strawberries perform best when linked to premium markets such as urban fresh fruit outlets, hotels, bakeries, and institutional buyers. Clean appearance, uniform size, and sweetness command higher prices. Market access is as important as production skill. Because strawberries are highly perishable and price sensitive, production must stay closely linked to market feedback. Small changes in fruit size, firmness, or packaging can strongly affect price. Polyhouse systems allow quick adjustments in irrigation, nutrition, and harvest timing, enabling growers to respond in real time and improve returns instead of relying on fixed plans made at planting. Over-irrigation, poor ventilation, wrong variety selection, and ignoring humidity control are common causes of failure. Many problems attributed to pests or nutrition actually originate from climate mismanagement. Precision and discipline are the foundations of success. Strawberry polyhouse cultivation depends on how well multiple factors work together rather than on any single decision. Growers learn that ventilation, irrigation discipline, and regular monitoring collectively shape fruit quality and yield. When plant biology, climate control, nutrition, and market strategy are aligned, strawberry farming becomes a repeatable and scalable enterprise. This system-based, science-driven approach reflects the philosophy of Seechur Agro, supporting growers in building sustainable, high-quality horticultural production models.